Okay. Hi everyone. Okay, we're going live. We're live. Hi everyone. Good afternoon. Love the energy in the chat. Okay, we're live. Hi everyone. Good afternoon. Um, love the energy in the chat. Who's this? Okay, so today we're having Itunu Adeiton of GTCO, the Resourcing and Analytics Officer. And will be taking us on writing CVs and cover letters that get us. What's this? Okay. Itunu will be taking us writing CVs and cover letters that get you noticed. Let me get to give you a back story. Hi, Isaac. Hi. Hi, Excel. So the global internship program is something that we started particularly in 2023. We did like a master class of it, and we decided to turn it into a series, and that's where it is today. So we bring speakers from different who have interned or are currently working in like top organizations. So think like World Bank, think Bank of America, think Bloomberg, think Spotify, those kind of companies. And we bring them together here just to kind of educate our community members to also get into these companies. So that's one of the reasons why. And to start this year's session, we are having Itunu take us through writing CVs and cover letters, because when you think of it, how are you going to make it through if your CV or cover letter doesn't even pass the first stage? So hi Itunu, let me know if you can hear me. I'd like you to come up already. Itunu?
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay,
Hi.
hi. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I
It's a
can hear
pleasure
you.
to be here.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to be sure that you were here first of all. So I'm just going to go and introduce you. Oh, sorry about this. Perks of living in Nigeria. If you give me a minute, please. Whoa. Okay. I think this is better. Hi, Tuno. You were okay. We're back. I'm back. I just wanted to be sure that you were here. That's why I tried to call you
Yeah.
up. So without wasting much time, I'm introducing you to Itunu Adeiton, Resourcing and Analytics Officer at GTCO. Now, I mean, when I saw resourcing and analytics, I feel like I've never heard of that before. So I had to do like my research, and then I'm like, okay, I see why you're here. So thank you for taking time to be with us. We're very grateful, and we're excited for all that you have to share with us. So now go into who Itunu is. Itunu is a HR practitioner. She has 2 years experience working in financial service industry, real estate, and she's currently working at GTCO, as I mentioned before. and where she focuses on talent acquisition, and then utilizing analytics to support organization goals. Um, Itunu graduated from Unilag, hi Akokite, with a degree in employment relations and human resource management. And she's an associate of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, that's CIPM. And that's the professional body in Nigeria for HR practitioners. So in her free time, she enjoys reading, watching movies, and listening to music. So without please let's give Itunu all the love, all the clap, everything in the chat. Let's show her that we're very
Thank you
excited
so
to have
much.
her.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Destiny.
Okay,
And
you have the
hello,
floor.
everyone. Yeah, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm so thankful for this opportunity to get to speak with everyone regarding this very important, aspect of job applications, right? I'll be in shortly, but I just want to ask, let's just have like an icebreaker. How are we all doing? How are we all doing? How is the day going? It's kind of really, how is everyone doing? How's our day going? Are we having a wonderful day? Has it been stressful? Let me just see while I go ahead to share my screen. Okay, please confirm if you can hear me, Destiny, because I can see someone saying they can't hear anything.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Itunu,
I
can you
can
say?
hear you too. Okay, okay. Sorry?
Okay, can hear you. Yes. Thank you. We can hear you. It's fine.
All right, all right, all right. Okay, I see people saying they're excited, they are chilling. Oh, I really want to be like you, chilling, right? All right. Drunk water today. That's wonderful. Water is very good, more important aspect of our nutrition, of our diet, right? So thank you everyone once again for having me. I'll go ahead to share my screen. All right. So tell me when you can see my screen.
Okay.
All right. So I'm coming, trying to look for uh, okay, can we all see my screen now? So Destiny, I'll need your help here because I'll be projecting, so I wouldn't be able to see the chats. Not yet. Oh, okay. Um, can we see my screen now? Okay. So sorry, I'm trying to get my screen shared. I don't know what the issue might. Okay, I think we're good to go. So Destiny, please can you confirm if you can hear me? Because I will need your assistance with the live chat. I might not be able to see it. So just, tell me if there's something I need to do,
Um,
if I need to slow down, or if somebody is um, responding to a question that I might have. So yes, you can see my screen now, right?
I can't see your screen yet, but I can hear you.
Oh, it's important that we see my screen. It's important that we see my screen. Can anyone see my screen? Or Destiny, can you see it now? Is it back? Is it up now?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, let me try again. I do not know what. Or let me try that again. Can we see it now?
No, but I think you should go on while we try to figure that out, please.
Out. Okay. 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 So I think I'll just go ahead
And
um
I can see your
as
screen.
she has as listeners. You can see it now.
Yes, yes.
All right, beautiful. Thank you very much. So, like we had mentioned before, we'll be speaking about writing CVs and cover letters that get you noticed from the application process to when you get an offer. And I would like to, state that this document is really prepared to speak to towards internship applications. So it speaks to internship applications that are not experienced hires or graduate training applications because writing a CV or a cover letter is not a one size fits all thing, right? You would have a different CV for an internship, a different CV for a graduate trainee program, a different CV for an application if you are an experienced hire, right? So it's not one CV you submit for all kinds of roles or all kinds of opportunities. You create your CV for the particular application, job application that you are submitting. So that being said, I'll be led by this outline. We'll be looking at briefly into the recruitment process. Then we'll look at what a curriculum vitae is, what a cover letter is, and their differences. We'll also identify or highlight the components of a CV and a cover letter to guide you in writing a compelling one. We'll look at the common mistakes made during job applications, which you should avoid so that you don't get your application rejected. And we'll also be looking at some guidelines to help you, submit a good application, submit a good CV that will get noticed by the human resource manager or hiring manager, and then we'll go ahead to the Q&A session. Now, the objective of this document that I've prepared is one to help you to understand the difference between a CV and a cover letter, like I had stated before. Two, to help you identify the key elements of a CV and a cover letter so that you know what must be included in a cover letter or a CV, what is a nice to have, what you should have but might not necessarily be compulsory because of your exposure or background. Then next, we'll be looking at the common mistakes that you should avoid when you're submitting a job application. And lastly, we want you to be able to write a compelling application. That means at the end of this class or at the end of this session, when you submit a job application, I want it to be that if you say yes, because of this session, I was able to submit something that was worthy of note, that drew or stood out amongst other applications. Now let's look at the recruitment process. First of all, the recruitment process is quite broader than this, right? But I just identified these four aspects of the recruitment process because I want to highlight something. So, and a job application starts by seeing a job posting, probably from your social network, from WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, as it were, and then you review the requirements of the application. I identify if this is something you want to, pursue, if it's something you want to go ahead with, if it aligns with your career aspirations, if it aligns with your interest. Then you go ahead to submit an application. You submit your details, whatever details that the HR personnel or the organization might request. You submit your CV and you submit your cover letter if it was requested for. Then the next stage is shortlisting, where your HR or the HR manager looks at the documents that you submitted, the details that you provided, and decides whether, oh, this is a potential fit for the organization or this is a potential candidate for the organization. And then moves your CV to what I would call a talent pool. That means a list of CVs that we want to, that an organization is interested in contacting, a list of individuals and organization is interested in contacting. Then you might be required to write an assessment, take an interview, and any other process, medicals, documentation, what have you, before you are given an offer and then placed within a particular department. Now, I know you might be wondering why I'm bringing this up, but I want you to know that you have more influence in the job posting and shortlisting stage than you have influence over what happens in the assessment interviews, offer and placement. Why did I say that? In the assessment interviews and offer and placement, You never know what kind of questions that will be thrown at you. You never know the kinds of assessments that you'll be required to write. You never know the department that you'll be placed into, because this is an internship, and organizations would not say, oh, where do you want to be? Where would you like to work? They basically place you according to business needs. But in the job posting and the shortlisting, it is your decision to submit an application, and it is your decision to provide the necessary information needed in the CV and a cover letter. So basically, if you provide the correct information, or if you provide a compelling CV, a cover letter, you will be shortlisted. That means you are the one who gives the information that the HR manager uses, right? So
Hi,
how do
Ituna.
you make sure that you cross from job posting? Oh, hi.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. The thing is, I think that you're
Yeah.
not moving your slides, so you're still on the same
Where
page.
are you currently? Where can you see now? What are you seeing
We
now?
can only see like the first page where it says from application to offer.
Oh, so you have not seen the outline and the legs.
No.
Oh, and I'm or okay. Let me stop sharing. Let me see. I don't know what the
And
issue
if
might be
you
here.
don't mind, if you could maybe send your slides to say Victoria, you could just project it from there,
Okay.
please.
So she projects this for me. Okay, I think I will do that. I think that's the best. So I will do that now. Apologies for the. So, okay, while I'm trying to send that, let me just continue speaking. So we after this session, we want a situation whereby you are able to influence that shortlisting process, and then you move from just submitting your application to actually getting noticed. Right. So I've Destiny, I've sent the slides to Victoria. So
Okay, thank you.
please confirm if she has received it. Yes. All right. I'll go straight into the next slide, which speaks to what a curriculum vitae is and what a cover letter is. So basically, a CV or a resume is a document that presents details of your professional background, your educational history, your skills, and any other qualification that is relevant for a potential employer to select you or to notice you. I would like to say it's like an historical document which presents, oh, what have you done so far, or what are you currently doing, right? What have you done so far in terms of your education? What have you done so far in terms of your professional background? And for internships, right, HR, an organization is not expecting you to necessarily have a work experience, because really you are students, mostly undergraduates. But aside, work experience, what have you done while you were in school outside your educational requirements, outside your educational background? What have you gotten involved in? What are your interests? Because organizations have values. They have values, culture codes that guide them. So when they're looking at a candidate, they're saying, oh, is this someone that would align with our value? Is this someone that will align with our culture? Is this somebody that can, work with us? Is this somebody that will be interested in retaining within our system? And usually, I know that most times, or I don't know about other organizations, but for Guarantee Trust Holding Company, when we give our internships, there are a couple of times that we have extended permanent offer of employment to those interns if they stood out or if they stand out. So for organization, is like a way to, it's like a recruitment strategy where they use an internship program to identify potential employees within the program. So a CV presents what your values are, or let me not say what your values are, but what you've actually done right? What skills you've acquired, and it really tells an employer that if this is somebody we want to work with. Now, a cover letter is quite different from a CV. And what stands out about a cover letter? I like to call a cover letter a motivational statement. I like to call it a motivational statement because in a cover letter, you are able to sell yourself. So a CV, you present, oh, this is what I've done, these are the skills I've acquired. But in a cover letter, you are telling them, oh, these are my interests, these are the achievements I've made. This is why your organization is, this is why I'm interested in working with your organization. These are the this is what I've done with my time. These are my values. So you're kind of linking the opportunity you have received to your career aspirations. You identify or you highlight your career aspirations. You explain in details why an employer should actually see you and say, oh, I think I want to work with this person. So, when you have interviews, they ask you, tell us about yourself. Why do you want to work in this organization? You can give those kind of details in the cover letter even before you get into an interview. So I'll kind of call it a written interview. Just that nobody's asking the questions, you don't giving the information. So you want to make sure that you're giving as much information as possible. But we'll still go into what you should do and what you should not do when you're writing a cover letter, because you do want to also present a cover letter that a an employer will get tired of reading. So it shouldn't be boring. That's first thing. Then it shouldn't be verbose. That means you shouldn't be writing details that are not necessary in a cover letter. For example, let's say I want to say I'm tired, and because you want to show that you know so much English, let's say the state of my body right now is telling me that I've gotten to the highest point of tiredness, I'm so famished. You are giving so much information when you could just have said, I am tired or I am hungry, right? So you want to make sure that your cover letter is interesting, but it's not confusing. Now, I'm going to come again. You sell yourself in a cover letter is a motivation statement. This is what attracted me to this opportunity. This is why I want to work with this organization. And this is why this organization, I feel like I'll be a good fit for this organization. These are the things that I've done that aligns with the core values of this particular organization. So that being said, you cannot write a cover letter if you have not researched the organization that you are working with. You cannot write a cover letter if you have not researched the organization you're working with. Now, for us in Guarantee Trust Holding Company, one of our core values is innovation. We are very innovative. So, if you're going to be writing a cover letter to apply for an internship in Guarantee Trust Holding Company, you want to identify things that show that you know how to solve problems, that you have taught, you know how to think outside the box. You want to highlight situations that show that you have um, 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 you have moved from just following the status quo. I identified this problem. This is what we did. This is how we were able to streamline the process. This is the new product that we introduced. This is the idea that we had, and this is how it impacted so, and so. So that's what you're doing in a cover letter. You're explaining yourself, you're selling yourself. Very, very important. Now, I'm going to go next into the components of a CV, and I really love that we're able to project the slides. Destiny, are we going to get the slides projected anytime soon? Because I want to show like an example of a CV, right?
Um,
Or should I try again? Should
we're
I try
going to
to
project it
maybe
from here. It might just take a
share
minute
my screen?
or two, but yeah, we're going to project it.
Okay, okay, no problem.
Yeah,
All right.
let's answer.
Let me go ahead.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the components of CV. First, we have the header. Now, this is very important, right? The header. Let me ask before I go ahead. Let me just hear what we have to say. What do you think I mean when I say the header, or let me just say the title? Let me just see our comments in the chat. When I say one of the components of a CV is the title or the header. What do you think I'm talking about? Can I just, see anybody in the chat? Anybody that wants to answer that question before we move ahead?
Mm.
Okay. Am I audible?
Oh yeah,
Can they hear
okay.
me? Just to be sure. Okay. Okay. Anybody wants to tell me what the title of this of a CV is, or what the title of a CV should be?
Somebody says professional background.
Professional background. Okay. Your name, your email, contact info, the email, an introduction, the title of the job you occupied, your name, your information. Okay, beautiful,
Introducing
beautiful.
yourself.
So the header is your name. The header is your name. My name is Itunu Adeiton, or let me just say my full name, Itunu Adeola Adeiton. You're writing your full name. The header is your name. I've seen a couple of CVs where we see curriculum vitae as the header. No, please. We know that we asked you to submit a CV, so you don't need to write on the CV curriculum vitae or CV again, just your name. Very important. And it should be in bold. It should be bold. It should be capitalized because you want it to be that these people saw that is this person that applied for this role. Now, because HR managers, they review a lot of CVs, it's easy to see one thing that just turns them off and then they move on. So you don't want a situation whereby something turns them off. You want your CV to be perfect. And your name is one of the things that make your CV perfect. The next thing or the next component, okay, and I didn't, so that means this falls into the category of must have. I don't even remember, but I was saying that we're going to categorize the components into must have, should have, and nice to have. And must have are the things that must be in your CV. The should have is, well, you might not have them because maybe you don't have the experience, or you don't have that pertinent yet. For example, work experience, we'll get. And then the nice to have is, oh, well, it doesn't make your CV better, it doesn't make your CV worse. So, but it also depends on the kind of application you're submitting. And for this purpose, we're having internship. So there's some things I would call nice to have because it's an internship application. But in another scenario or in another situation, it would be a must have. So let's go to the next thing. The next thing are your contact details. Your contact details include your name, your email, your phone number, your home address, and your LinkedIn profile. Now, your LinkedIn profile, very important. You do not have to put your LinkedIn profile, especially if you do not have an updated LinkedIn profile. You don't want a situation whereby your CV is more updated than your LinkedIn profile. So you might put your LinkedIn profile for added advantage, but you can leave it if you have not updated your LinkedIn profile. If you're going to be adding your LinkedIn profile to your contact information, you are going to have to make sure that it is updated. So, like I said, contact details, your email, your phone number, your home address. Your email and your phone number have to be correct. I've had situations where we like this CV. This person has presented something wonderful, something beautiful. We think this person is a potential employee, but then you check the phone number and it's wrong, it's incomplete, or we call the number is not going through. So you don't want to put a phone number that is not active or a phone number that is already barred. You want to put a phone number that if we call at any time, it's reachable. So you might also want to consider the kind of network it is. If you're putting a network that you know that this network they're always is they're not stable. You don't want to put that in your CV because you never know when an HR manager looks at your CV and wants to contact you. You don't want that to be the reason why they pick you above someone else. Your email, if you're putting your email address, the kind of emails you put are very important as well. You don't want to put an email that says barbiedoll@gmail.com. That's not professional. So if you're putting your when you put your email or your call on your CV, it has to be a professional email address. Don't put something that will make you look like a diva or a Ken. No, put something professional, right? And make sure that that email that you put is an email address that you look at regularly, frequently. Very important. It's an habit that we should all cultivate. You have to make sure that you're looking at your email. You're checking your email, especially when you've submitted a couple of applications. Check your email every day, right? Now, let's go to the next component. Next component. Destiny, please, I'd like it to that if when I'm 10 minutes, when it's 10 minutes to the end of my session, please just notify me so that I know if I need to rush. Right?
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you. That's
So the next one is a summary, or I like to call it profile. Now, this is also a very, very, very important part of your CV. Now, the contact details is a must have. A summary and profile, because it's an internship, is a must have. For me, when I submitted my graduate training, my CV for a graduate training program, I didn't put my so I didn't put a summary or profile because my CV was already, quite more than one page. I didn't need it. But for an internship, especially when you do not have so many experience or so much experience, you want to make sure that you're putting a lot, or you're putting your summary. And your summary should be catchy. It should have details of your background, your interest, the skills you have, right? Now, background in the sense that, let's say you are a final year graduate. So we're going to see a template of a CV. Hopefully they share the screen. But if they don't share it, I think I'll just share my screen again and just show that particular slide. I hope it's I'm able to show you guys, because it's very important that you see it. Now, I've read a lot of summaries, and I I'd rather not have the summary in the CV if that is what the person is going to write. Because a couple of times, or most of the time, we go to ChatGPT and just say, "Oh, write a catchy summary for me," and then you put it there. And when we're reading it, we're trying to, what is this person trying to say? There's a lot of strong words, like so heavy, no simplicity. If you're writing a summary, let it be plain and simple. Let it be easy to understand. Don't say trying to look for something interesting analysis so that I can align the business needs to you just put a lot of things. What business needs are you aligning? You're coming to learn as an intern. So it's more the organization giving you value, or it's more you receiving value from the organization than you giving. So what business needs are you providing solutions to? Tell us what your interests are, and then we'll see if it aligns to our organization. We'll see something, an example. The next one is your work experience. Now, your work experience, I'll categorize it as it should have. Why? Because sometimes this might be the application you're submitting might be the first application that you're submitting. It might be, the first time you want to try out the corporate world. So you might not have a work experience. But why did I call it a should have? Because other things can replace this particular section. So you can have a volunteer experience, and you can have projects that you've worked on. For people that are in technology, they are submitting CV for tech roles, they would have projects. So you want to put that there. You want to tell them what you've done, right? In bullet points. In bullet points. Very important. In bullet points. You're not writing, so your summary is a summary, it's not a bullet point, it's a summary, like a paragraph, not up to five, not more than, I would say 4 lines max. 4 lines max. Don't do 6, 7 lines. It's not a cover letter, right? Your work experience, your volunteer experience, bullet points. This is the work we did. This was job description what we achieved in this particular role or on this particular project. Volunteer experience, you write the organization you volunteered with, the role you played, and just bullet points. We'll still look into certain ways we should, in the guidelines, we look at certain ways we should write, our CV. So you should have a volunteer experience as an undergraduate that wants to apply to an organization. And why? Because this communicates to the organization that this person is somebody that is actually willing to learn. This person is somebody that is a potential. This person is somebody that is given to providing or giving value wherever he or she goes. So you don't want a CV that is just bland, right? I understand that you might not have work experience, but what have you done? Have you volunteered in your department? Did you join a program? Did you facilitate a program? Did you join an NGO to clothe children? What have you done while you were in school aside reading your books? Having a first class, having a second class upper two one is actually important, but aside that, what else are you doing with your time? Right, very important. So we've talked about work experience should have. Volunteer experience or project could also replace work experience in the event that you do not have a work experience. Now let's go to um, the next component, your education. Your education. Now, I would say your education is also an opportunity to sell yourself. Now, it's not compulsory for you to put your GPA or your grade points in your CV. But if you think that it is something that is going to give you leverage, you should put it. For example, if you're a first class student, you might want to put it, oh, I have 4.9 out of 5 first class students, right? You want to put that there because it's something that would catch the eye of of the employer or the HR manager. Oh, this person is a first class student. Seems like this person is a potential candidate for this organization. We want people that are bright, right? But that doesn't mean that if you don't have a first class, you have a 2-1 or 2-2, you cannot apply. Well, it depends on the requirements of the application because some applications would, you know, inform you if the benchmark is 2-1, 2-2, third class, or they just say it doesn't matter, come as you are. So that being said, it's important for you to read your books. I know that there's a saying that school is scam, school is scam. Well, read your books. Try as much as possible to be the best at what you do, right? Because you don't want a situation where not reading, you know, hindered your progress in the future. So read your books. Your time in school, use it wisely, right? So yeah, that being said, education, you provide the name of your school, the course of study you are doing. Is it a BSc in accounting? Is it a bachelor's in education, bachelor's of science, bachelor's of engineering, what the course of study is, and then the date. Very important. You're putting the dates. Now we have for you guys, you would have, let's say you started school 2018. You're putting 2018 till present because you are still, you know, in school. But if you finish, let's say you started in 2016 and you finish in 2020, you're saying 2016 to 2020. Now, when we write or when you write a CV, you write it in reverse chronology. That means you write your most recent experience, your most recent education first, then the rest follows like that. So you're not writing the latest, like the earliest rather. You are writing the latest one first, down to the earliest experience or down to the earliest educational qualification. Now, if you have a master, if you have your education is not professional certification, so you're not writing, for example, let's say you have an ICANN, you're a chartered an associate of the CIPM body. You're not writing your certification in the education section. That is separate. That falls under another section, which is called trainings or certifications, right? So your education is strictly education, master's degree, bachelor's degree, your secondary school degree, not your certification. Certifications are different, right? So let's go down. Let's go to the next. We have trainings and certification. That's the next. Now, education is a must-have. Yes, I need to say that it's a must-have because you have to have gone through school to want to apply to, you a job in the corporate world. So education is a must-have in your CV. Trainings and certification, I will call it a should have. So I'm saying it's not a must-have because, well, you might not have had trainings or you might not have gone through trainings, which I would say is not really good. So that's why I'm calling it a should have. That means you should have had at least one training that you've done. I mean, if you are in 300 level, in 3 years, you should have done something outside school, taking a course on Coursera, or maybe a training that you went for outside school, physical, virtual. So you should have a training because these are important components that will help to be, let me use this word, you want to put something that will make your CV compelling. So that means you have to put in the work, you have to do those things, you have to make sure that your background is solid, you have a solid foundation. If you don't have anything to write to stand out from the numerous CVs that other that the HR manager has to review. Okay, I see that the slide is up. So let's go to I think one slide six. Slide six. Yes, thank you very much. Slide six. Okay, no, scroll down. You've skipped. Yeah, just scroll a bit. A bit. No, not this one. Just scroll down or up rather. I don't know which one that mean is the component of a curriculum vitae. Thank you very much. So the we have the next one, skills. Skills is a must have. Why? Now some through what we call an applicant tracking. The applicant tracking system looks through your CV and most times would identify those that have keywords like collaborate, like leadership, like teamwork, like communication, flexibility, problem solving. So when you're writing the skills, you're writing skills that you have. The we have people that, I used to tell my colleagues at work that I never wrote ability to work under pressure on my CV, right? So that being said, you don't want to write something that you cannot defend. Do not write something you cannot defend on your CV. Do not use any word because when you're asked, if peradventure you proceed to the next stage, you're in an interview, they're using your CV to ask you questions and they say, oh, you said you have adaptability. Give us a scenario where you display this particular skill and then you are blank. So if you are putting a skill, it has to be something that you can defend. It has to be something that you have a story for. That when they ask you in an interview, you are saying, oh, these are the things that I did. I'm innovative. This is what I did to show that I'm innovative. Don't just throw words around because they are sweet or they are interesting to look at. You are going to defend everything that is in your CV. So make sure that you're writing things. You make sure that you have a skills section. It's very, very important. It's a must have. Now, I'll call other sections the personal data section. Personal data section includes your gender, your date of birth. Now, that is a nice to have. Why did I call it a nice to have? Because sometimes when you submit an application in the form, you already put your date of birth, your age, and some other details before you put your CV. But if you were submitting a CV for a graduate training program, I would advise you put your date of your personal data in your CV. Why? Because it's not every time your CV would be sent to via a port like an application portal, people might recommend you. So if they do not have a date of birth, and graduate training programs have a benchmark for age, if they do not have a date of birth, they might just keep you. So make sure that you're putting the important information in your CV. Now, personal data, we have pictures. Picture have, but it doesn't stand you. It doesn't make. It doesn't. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't. It's not a determining factor. That's just the word. Picture. Oh, you look nice. You look good. But that's not going to say that oh, because you look fine, you are a beautiful lady. I'm going to call you for an interview. Okay, you have references. References are nice to have, but usually if we're going to speak to you or if you pass an interview process or a recruitment process, they would ask you for your references, or an HR manager will ask you for your references, or better still tell you to update your CV to provide references. But references doesn't really determine whether they will shortlist you or not, but it's a nice to have, right? So leadership roles, nice to have. If you have it, please put it there. If you have held positions in school, put it there. But if you do not have it, it's fine. You can stand on the grounds of your training, your skills, you know, to stand you out. Okay, let's go to the next slide. I don't know if we can see the slide very, very well. I don't know if you can see the slides very well because I want to show us examples of CVs. Okay, uh, so this is not okay. This is not very clear. So I'll just read. I think I'll just read. So I'll be reading from the first CV. That's the one with the picture. Like I said, pictures are nice to have, right? Now this is Folashade Adeoye's CV, and she has provided a profile. I want to read her profile. A profile. Who remembers what the profile is? The profile is a brief summary about your background, your experience, your interest. It shouldn't be too long. Now we have a profile. It says penultimate year undergraduate seeking internship opportunities, passionate. Sorry.
Oh, hi. Hi.
Okay. Okay.
Like say less than 15 minutes because we spent
Okay.
like over 5 minutes here,
Okay.
and
So
we
I
would
have
like to take questions. So if you make maybe do like 5 minutes, and we'll take
okay.
questions, please.
Okay, 5 minutes. Okay,
Thank you.
that's fine. No problem. 5 minutes. Thank you very much. So, okay, let me just rush through this then. So we have Fola Shadi. This is a a CV. So let's just say these are two examples of a CV, right? One which can just be straight line, and we have one that can be side by side. I'll go into cover letter. Cover letter will have the header. As I've mentioned that before. Salutation. Salutation is dear hiring manager, dear human resource manager. Peradventure, you know the person's name. You say dear whoever the person is. The introduction in the cover letter, information on your background, where you found the job opening, and your motivation for applying. That should be your introduction. Then you have the body. The body of your cover letter is where you now sell yourself, where you highlight your interest, your achievements, how the job aligns with your career aspirations. Then we have the conclusion where you tie it all together and give your appreciation, and you say stuff like I look forward to hearing from you, right? And all these components of the cover letter are a must have. They are a must have, right? So we'll share the document so that you can I've shared the document with Victoria. Hopefully they share with you guys so that you can look at it and look at the template that I had put there before. Now I'll go straight into common mistakes made during job applications. The first is grammatical error. This is a very common mistake, and this is because people don't proofread your CV. If you don't give people to proofread your CV, you would have issues of grammatical error. Incorrect title, putting curriculum vitae instead of your name, or making your name small instead of bold. Incorrect contact details, I've mentioned that before. Another one that isn't very that people don't really know is putting your full home address. Now we are in the world where security is a very important thing. So you don't want to put the number, your house number, the street name, the area, the state. No. What's advisable is if you're staying in Surulere, Lagos, you don't have to put number 5 at Adeboye Street, GRA, Surulere, Lagos. Just put Surulere, Lagos. We just want to know whether you reside in the state or outside the state. Improper sequence in your CV. I said it, you put your CV in reverse chronology. That means your latest experience before your earliest, down to your earliest experience. Then we have omitting relevant information. Don't omit relevant information. Let me just put it like that. Don't omit any information that is important to you getting the job. Do not omit it. Now we have excessive colors and decoration. Some of us might paint our CV because we feel like, oh, if it's looking attractive, it will stand out. No, it's the content that matters more than the template. So don't use too much colors or decoration. Make it as plain as legible as possible. Abuse of AI. ChatGPT is your friend, but ChatGPT is not you, right? Don't move from using a tool that should be an assistant to making it, your all. We are creative human beings. So be creative. Yes, you can use ChatGPT, but let it be that it assisted you in maybe proofreading, giving you proper structure for your cover letter or your CV. Don't copy and paste from ChatGPT because they would know. We have applications, we have tools now that can, track when this thing is AI generated. Abuse of fonts. Use one font and one font size. Aside for your headings should be bold. That means your name, the work experience, the training, they should be bold, but make sure you maintain one font. Don't abuse fonts. Verbose CVs or cover letters, don't use too much grammar. Make it as simple and as concise as possible. Exceeding 2 pages, your CV by recommendation should be 1 page for an internship. Don't make it too long and tiring for the hiring manager, right? Submitting your CV or cover letter in MS Word. This is another mistake people make. That's Microsoft Word. You should submit your CV in PDF format, not in Microsoft Word, because you want to maintain the formatting that you have made on your CV or your cover letter. You don't want a situation whereby it becomes disarranged when your hiring manager or when the HR personnel reads it. Next, I'll go quickly to job application guidelines. Keep your CV or cover letter concise. I've said that before. Now, this is very important. Use action verbs. Use action verbs. When slide 12, I don't know if that has been projected. Okay, yeah. So use action verbs. Use action verbs. Very, very important. So when you're highlighting your job description, I wish I had more time. I would have, would have done an exercise so that I'll see if we understand. But you want to say coordinated, coordinated the this particular project. Like I'm just using an example. Actively involved in the recruitment of candidates. Collaborated with so and so team to enhance user experience. So don't say I worked with the HR team to ensure that user experience is better. I I I created a template for no action verbs, coordinated, analyzed, actively involved. Those should be the first lines, those should be the first words, especially under the work experience section when you are explaining your job experience. Tailor it, customize your CV for the internship that you're applying for. The CV you submit for GT internship might not be the same you submit for a Stanbic internship. Proofread, give people to proofread your CV so that they can identify spelling errors, grammatical errors, or sentence structure correction. Use professional file type. I've said that before. Use a PDF. So let's go to the next slide. This is the last slide. This is the last slide. Let's go to the next slide. I don't know if you can hear me. Next slide, please. Okay, yes. Next slide on job application guidelines. I've divided this into 3 sections, and this is the pre-application, what you should do before your application, when during your application, after your application. Now, before your application, have the right attitude. So, it's the attitude that you have that you're going to bring during an interview session. Have the right attitude. Be smart, but also be willing to learn. Don't go to an interview session and start arguing with your um your your interviewer. Get involved in project and volunteer activities. I've mentioned that before, very important because it helps your CV to be rich. Research the organization. I cannot overemphasize this. Research the organization. It helps you know what you should write in your CV and your cover letter. Understand how the internship opportunity matches your career aspirations. That means you have to have career aspirations if you are going to be applying. You have to have goals. You have to have things you want to do, the career path you want to take. You have to know that because that would help you in writing your cover letter, curating your cover letter to a particular job application. And that will also help you identify if a particular internship is good for you or not. During the application, sell yourself. I mentioned this. Seek advice from your mentors. Seek advice from your mentors. Proofread your application. Try to submit as early as possible because we have a system that says first in, first out. That means the earliest applications usually tend to get what's it called? Earliest attention. So, for example, if I have 1,000 applications and I spool the first 200, and out of those 200, I already have all the candidates I need. The people that submitted after, we'll just put them in the talent pool for another opportunity that we have. So try to submit as early as possible. If you submit late, it's fine. You never know. The HR manager might see your CV later. Post application, prepare for test, research the kind of test that this organization deploys. What kind of test do you deploy? My advice for you, read GMAT. make sure you're reading GMAT because it's usually numerical reasoning, verbal reasoning, and analytical or logical reasoning. No, read, study GMAT questions. Most organizations bring their questions from GMAT, GRE questions. Prepare adequately for interviews. Do your dry runs. Very important. Dress properly during interviews. Make sure you are looking presentable and be confident. Be very confident in yourself. Very, very important. Be confident. Don't be afraid to speak. Don't be afraid to sell yourself. Don't be afraid to show that you are a best fit for the organization. And I hope with these little points, I've been able to give you a foundational knowledge on how to write compelling applications, how to write compelling CVs and cover letters. Now, there are templates out there, right? But know that it's not the template that really matters, it's the content of the template, the content of the CV or cover letter that actually matters. You can adopt any template, but make sure that the content is something that you get noticed. Thank you very much, Destiny.
Thank you very much, Itunu. I like the last part where you said there are templates out there, but it's not about the template, it's the content that's in the template that matters. Thank you so much. This has been an enlightening session. I think we'll now take questions, please. So if you have questions for Itunu, then we're going to use 5 to 7 minutes to take questions. Please put them in the chat. I will take them and ask, please. Okay. I could see this one from Salahuddin. Salahuddin says, "It's a pleasure to have you, ma'am. My question are, does the sections you listed in the CV, is it chronological? Is multitasking a skill? Does there have to be the applicant name on a cover letter?" So I think that's like 3 questions in one. Is multitasking a skill? Does the CV, the sections in the CV, does it have to be chronological? And does your name have to be on a cover letter?
Okay. So on a cover letter, your name has to be on a cover letter. Now, um, I'm not going to start from here. So let me look at the question first so that okay, yes, your
Okay.
name has to be on your cover letter. Why? Because when I download your cover letter, I've probably downloaded so many cover letters, and I look at this cover letter and I'm like, I might not be able to go back to my applicant tracking system to start looking for who wrote this cover letter? Who wrote this cover letter? And another thing I think I didn't mention is when you're saving or submitting your cover letter and your CV, make sure that what you are saving it as is your name. So I think that will help. If your name, you saved your CV or cover letter as your name, I might be able to identify that, oh, this is this person's CV. But it's also very advisable that you put your name on your cover letter. You might be at the heading or at the salutation where you say yours sincerely, then you put your name and your signature, right? Um, you said is multitasking a skill. You would, I won't say it's a skill that is CV worthy. Why? Because whether you like it or not, you will multitask. Honestly speaking, whether you like it or not, you multitask. In an internship, you might not necessarily hold a leadership position, right? But whether you like it or not, you'll be doing multiple things at the same time, especially when you're coming to the corporate world. Now, the way I outlined the components of the CV, I wouldn't say that you should follow that format because if you saw the pictures, there were two types of CVs. There was a straight line CV, then there was one that had sections side by side. So not necessarily, you don't have to follow that order, but make sure that your work experience and your education are one of the first things you see. So you can put your education first before your work experience, or you can put your work experience first before your education. But make sure your work experience, your summary must be at the top. You cannot put your summary after work experience. Your summary must be at the top. But for work experience and education, you can kind of switch them. So I would advise that you put it in the order of importance, right? Put it in an order of importance, right? But you can also, ask mentors um, on how you should structure your CV because I don't know what components you want to put. Like I've said, there are must haves, there's nice to have, and there's should have. I do not know what component you want to put, but you can ask for advice on the way you should structure it, but put it in the order of importance.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Destiny. I hope I've
Yeah,
answered
I
your
think
question.
you answered that well. This person says, I signed out of school last month. Should my educational description be graduate or undergraduate, as I'm still awaiting my final result?
So you signed out of school last month. If you are writing your CV, you are going to put, so let's say, okay, this is 2025. Let's say you started in 2018. You're going to put 2018, 2025 because you're done. When you now submit your, so I know that even if you have not gotten your certificate, you can ask for statement of
Mm,
results. So the fact that you are done with school, there's a high tendency that after 1 month you should be able to ask for your statement of results. So even though you don't have a certification, organization accepts statement of results, which you can request from your department, but you are done with school. You can put it there that, oh, 2025, 2018 to 2025. Yes, you can.
okay, thank you. This person is asking Leo, I think, says, would you pick a double column
Mhm.
CV over a two-page CV?
When you say double block, is it like having two sections in one page? Just to be clear,
Yeah.
over
Yes.
two page. I can pick either of them, honestly. Is like I said, there are many
Dep-
templates out there.
Depends on the content.
It's the content that matters. So I can pick the two page if the two page makes sense. If the double block is all pictures and designs and no content, I don't care about the design. Is what you've written that is there. So the reason why we're saying don't exceed 2 pages or better still do 1 page is because, like I said, the HR manager is reviewing a lot of CVs. You want her to at a glance see the important things, and that's why, like I said to the first question, the important thing should be at the top. What is at the bottom should be just nice to have, right? But what you want to stand out, your selling points, work experience, your education, your trainings, your skill, those things should be things that they can see at a glance. First page, they're seeing it. But I can pick
Mm,
anyone depending on what the content is.
okay. Thank you. I think we'll take two more questions and
All
then
right.
we'll call it a wrap. So this person asks, what's the ideal time for an application when it's put out, considering you don't want to miss, you don't want to send a weak application. So what's like the ideal time between when an application is released to when you probably apply? For example, a lot of global internship applications are open. Some will soon be closing by the end of this month. Some maybe October. So I mean, people should be applying already. But what do you think is like a reasonable time frame?
Okay, a reasonable time frame. So I'll give an example. We put up an application in Guarantee Trust Holding Company. Now I understand you don't want to submit a weak application. Very, very, very important. Very, very important. And that's why your cover letter or CV you should have like something you can work with. That if I see an application, what I'm doing is adjusting the CV and cover letter. So it's not when an application comes out, you are just writing your CV. You are adjusting your CV, you are adjusting your cover letter. So you have a template for yourself. Even if you don't have an organization, you're writing, you have a template that, oh, I have this template, I've seen this application, let me just do a plug and play, let me just adjust a bit so that you're not spending so much time, writing the application, right? So we've sent out an application and then it closed the next day. Ask me why. Because within 24 hours, we had 15,000 applicants. So if I have
Mm,
15,000 applicants and I've said that I want to leave the job opening in 1 week, I'm not going to leave it for 1 week. Why? Because I already have more than I need. And that's why we
mm,
say have this template ready. But don't rush your application so that you're not making mistakes. Do not rush your application. Take out time, even if it is overnight, sit down. In 5 hours, you should be done with your application. That is worst case scenario. You sit down and say, I'm dedicating 5 hours to this application, getting all the necessary documents or everything, 5 hours. You give yourself that long to apply. You get a strong application. But make sure you are also prepared before you see an application. So what you're doing is adjusting the template you already have, not creating a new CV or a new cover letter. Right? But my advice, if that same week, try to finish it because you never know. They might get too many applications, just close it.
okay. Thank you very much, Itino. This is the last question we're taking.
So sorry, I can't hear anything.
For people that have been asking if
Uh,
this,
Sorry, Destiny, I lost
yeah,
you.
for people that have been
I lost you. So
asking
sorry. I didn't get the question.
if these sessions will be available, yes, it's on YouTube. Like you are streaming on YouTube live, so anytime you need it, you can always go through it again. And if you'd like to connect with Itunu, I think that you can connect with her via LinkedIn, right? Yeah, her
Yeah,
that's
yeah. It's no idea. It's
yeah. So this is the last question we're taking. Um, let me see. I think I saw. Okay, I find this question quite interesting. It's by Olubanjo Kolade. He says, "Does having a full-time job hurt your chances at getting an internship, making you seem overqualified?
Though, sorry, come again. I didn't get it.
Does having a full-time role hurt your chances at getting an internship, making you seem overqualified?"
Hmm. So when you say full-time role, do you mean that you are now a permanent employer? Sorry, I don't know if the person can quickly say because I need to understand what full-time role means. Because if it's a permanent employment, right, there are organizations that have policies against having double role. So you don't want that kind of situation where you are applying for an internship and you are working another job. As aside you being overqualified, the time factor is also there. Are you able to commit your time to two job jobs, right? But yes, there's something like overqualification, right? Because every job application has requirements, has benchmarks, have the minimum standard. So if they are saying they want 18 to 20, that means anybody that is 21 cannot apply, right? If they are saying they want people in their penultimate year, they are saying um, people in their final year cannot apply. If they are saying they want people with 0 years of experience, they are saying if you have experience, this is not for you. 0 to 1 year, they are saying if you have 2 years experience, this is not for you. So I think it depends on the kind of internship you are, applying for. I cannot say overqualified you are overqualified, just like that. It depends on what the requirements of the application is. So if you are going for an internship that I don't know might be um a sort of training internship for maybe data analysis and you're doing a particular like you have your role, your job or a permanent employment, by all means you can, maybe it's a virtual program. You can apply, you can get um the internship and not seem overqualified, right? So it depends on what that particular application requires, So if you will know if it's you are overqualified, it will be written there that this one is not someone like me they want, right? So yeah, it depends on the application.
Okay, thank you very much. I mean, this has been a very insightful, like I said, session. Thank you to all the hundreds of people that have been to having fun in the chat, sending their reactions, questions, and thank you very much,
Yeah,
Itunu, for
thank you.
doing this with
Thank you for
us.
having me.
Carrywise, from all of us at Carrywise and the Carrywise Ambassadors Program, we're very thankful. So that will be all for now. In our next session on today's Wednesday, on Friday the 26th, and Friday the 26th, yeah. And that would be about interviews. So if you're not on the internship group, please go ahead and join so that you can get more information. We're very excited for this series. It's going to be like one of the best programs that you've attended or you'll be attending this year. So the knowledge here you learn, it would go beyond just applying for internships this year, something I can take with you every time that you are looking to apply to everywhere or anywhere, even other things that are not particularly internships. So that will be all from here. Carry-wise people, thank you. And please, before we go, please can you just say thank you to Itunu in the chat? I can already see them. Thank you, Salami,
Thank you so much. It's
Oyedamola.
a pleasure. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Take care.